impilo, inotho, ufumi, life to the people, wealth to the country.
Today I think we want to address corruption. As you are aware, corruption is a cancer, a disease that has infested the nation. The ugly head of corruption rose its head in 1987, and as you are aware, it took the life of the late Maurice Nyagumbo with the Willowgate scandal. We need to make sure that if we are, as a nation, going to be able to rescue ourselves from self-destruction, corruption is a key issue for us to deal with. In appointments, there's corruption. Some people, when they get appointed in positions, we see that corruption is one of the bigger issues. But I think the most telling part for me is when the late President Robert Mugabe said that 15 billion went missing. And unfortunately, the criminals have not been caught. And unfortunately, the 15 billion have never been found. So we need to be able to establish whether those criminals are still roaming our streets in Zimbabwe or elsewhere across the globe. And what is the government doing to be able to stem corruption? Without us stemming corruption, as a country, we're going to continue seeing the illicit of flows of funds out of the country. We're also going to see this wealth that we are seeing which cannot be accounted for. And one of the key issues my government is going to address is members' interests. We need to ensure that those in government, members of parliament, even councillors, the executive, they must declare their assets before taking office. And every year there must be a register of how much people have accumulated. Because people are now using politics or entrance into government as a way to enrich themselves. What they amass and the money they get paid is not equal. So we need to make sure that all the presidential candidates must be able to declare their assets when they take office, every year, and when they leave office. The late Julius Nyerere, as you are aware, after retiring, he went to his village in Tanzania. We never heard about him amassing wealth or massive assets. We don't encourage divorces, but you are aware that, with the divorce of the late President Mugabe's child, daughter, the newspapers through courts reported that there are lots of assets that are in disputes where the husband is saying we must share those assets. So how did she accumulate so much assets? And if the father, the late Robert Mugabe, had given it as inheritance, the question is how much was he earning? Because for us as a country and as a people, that raises lots of concerns to say, are we in an animal farm where other animals are more important than others? So we need to be able to address that. The other issue I want to raise, in particular to my colleagues, those 11 candidates, that after this year, 23 August, we don't want another Poland. I think I didn't mention before that Poland was an act of co-option, was an act of fleecing money, public money, to enrich people. Those who were in Poland got cars, they got diplomatic passports and other assets. Yet the majority of people are suffering. You are aware that President Mugabe coined something called the Maduk strategy. So I'm hoping that this pollard won't be another strategy. So we're going to find out what name to give it. Should anybody mute that, we must form Poland. Poland, as I said to you, was for the elite, not the masses of Zimbabwe that are suffering. So let it be clear that you, the citizens of Zimbabwe, must choose who should lead you, but also must be able to say, those who want to enter into such marriages of convenience, who are they representing? We want to work together as Zimbabweans to be able to save our people, to be able to grow our nation, but without taking advantage that because we have been either morally elected and entrusted or through this co-option that happens, that instrument. So I want to say, whatever instrument that was used in 2018 by the president, after 23 August 2023, we want the Minister of Finance to be able to account the money that was spent on Poland, and we want Poland and the president himself to be able to specifically tell the nation the achievements of Poland. What did Poland do for the nation? Not what did the nation, through taxpayers' money, did for the Poland recipients. That is very important, accountability. Because if that is the case, and there was no benefit to the nation, as we are aware and I said in the last press conference, that the president has failed to obey and respect the Constitution of Zimbabwe. So I'm calling for Zimbabweans that let's not elect again a man who is not going to respect you. Let's not give anybody another 5 years, another chance of 5 years to destroy our country. So corruption is number one for us to do that, because when you do that, it means that the roads, the dams, whatever we build, those processes or tenders or appointments will be done cleanly to make sure that the nation does not benefit. We've also seen that judges were being given houses, MPs were given lots of money, 150,000, ministers, MPs 40,000. All those actions are actions of state capture, co-opting of people so that they don't oppose. In a sense, when you abuse state money, that is an act of corruption. These judges get paid. I've never heard in any world where judges get state houses. So if judges get state houses, what happens to the Chief Justice? He gets the country. So we believe that, again, we are not in an animal farm where some animals are more important, are more equal than other animals. So corruption is number one. We want to fight. The people in Poland must be able to account for the money they received, for the benefits they received. We'll call upon the minister, Professor Ncube, to give us an account that the 5 years of Poland is finished. This is what we gave them, and this is what the nation benefited. We also want the government to tell us what happened to the 15 billion so that we can move forward. Thank you very much. We have 9 members of parliament. We could manage to get nominated, and I think our councillors are about 45. I did not just talk about this term. I started in 1987. I think you were late. I'm not sure if you know of the Willowgate scandal. Okay, that took Maurice Nyagumbo's life. Remember, he had to commit suicide. So we saying corruption is on his actually taken lives, apart from destroying the futures of our children. So there won't be corruption. So it's zero corruption. So I'm saying to Zimbabweans, elect me, choose me to be your first citizen, your servant, And from day one, there's no corruption, because I'm not going to take from the people, from the state, I'm going to give. I won't get a government car when elected. I don't need a government car. Ministers don't deserve the Land Cruisers they are driving. They get paid, so they must buy their own cars. So that's another way where you taking things from the executive to make sure that it goes to service delivery where it's needed most. The law enforcement agents will also help us find the criminals that we mentioned in the past. You see, that's why we've got bloated government. What skills do we harness from them? So people must be able to join a party they believe gives the best policies, represent their aspirations. There's no need for people. You see, the reason why we had 23 candidates in 2018 and 11 candidates this year is purely because it's a free-for-all. The standards required for being a president of Zimbabwe is so low. The bar has been set so low that anybody thinks they can be, because they know that's the only step to make money. It's like being a pastor or so-called prophet. That's the only way to make money. So there's nothing. People must choose. Do they want free Zim policies, ZANU-PF, Triple C, MDC, whatever, and join there? But we cannot get people to start a party when they don't even have a car.